Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Artwork Archive webinar on wellness for artists, including practical tips for artists' physical and mental well-being. While we wait for everyone to join, please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat, maybe where you're from, where you're signing in from, your name, the type of art you make. We'd love to meet you all. I just want to begin with a few housekeeping items. So this webinar will be recorded, and the recording will be sent afterwards with the slides and any resources that we discuss here today. If you need access to live captioning, you can click the CC at the bottom of the menu bar on your Zoom window. And of course, if you need to reach us at any point, you can do so by hitting the chat, or also after the webinar. If you need to contact us, you can do it by email at team@artworkarchive.com, or we have this blue chat icon that's in the corner of the screen on the dashboard when you're on artworkarchive.com. And if you send a message through that chat, it goes to one of our teammates. It does not go to a robot, I can promise you that. So if anything comes up and maybe you wanted to remember a journal prompt or remember something we discussed here today, or you have questions as you're using the platform, if you're a user with us, you can reach us there as well. Hi, Amy, Lally, Maria, amazing, Helen. I love meeting you all. Thank you so much. Sam Harvey from Brooklyn, art and design school, but also do various design work and printmaking, everything, amazing. Hello from Brussels. Thanks for joining us. And from Montreal, incredible. Hi, Emily. Okay, I'm going to continue going, but feel free to introduce yourself or chat amongst yourself in the chat. We are excited that you're joining us, and also we want this to be as interactive as possible. So let's just keep messaging. This is different from, usually we do these training session webinars, or I usually lead them too, and we have a Q&A section, but we don't really have a Q&A today. So let's just talk to each other in the chat. But I'm Cassidy. I'm an artist based in Santa Monica. I'm also on the team at Artwork Archive, and I lead our product education, and I do a lot of tutorials, videos on our features, et cetera, et cetera. So you might hear my voice a lot if you're watching Artwork Archive videos. And then I'll let my colleague, who's joining me, introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Alicia McNiff Kogelmeyer. I am on the Artwork Archive team. I am head of growth. Recently, I've been working a lot with our collectors and organizations. So you might not have seen me in a while. I used to lead artist webinars back in the day. I am based in Denver, Colorado, and I am the daughter of an art therapist. I used to be a yoga teacher in an earlier life, and so happy to be a part of this webinar today.
We are so excited because we have a resident yoga teacher on the team. It's incredible. And Alicia's voice is so calming. Also, to grow up with artists and art therapists as parents is what a gift. So we're so glad that she's joining us today. And then just briefly, so if you're joining us and you have no idea what Artwork Archive is, I'm going to give a rundown real quick before we dive in. So we began in 2010 as one of the first cloud-based art inventory systems. Our aim is really to provide artists, collectors, and art organizations powerful tools to manage their artwork, careers, and collections. We're accessible enough for early stage artists or collectors and powerful enough for complex organizations that manage global collections. We're accessible anywhere, on any device, safe, secure, always up to date, and you can download your data anytime. So those are some of the points that we like to touch on with Artwork Archive. If you're interested in learning more about what we do, how you can use Artwork Archive in your own artistic practice, feel free to reach out. We host bi-weekly webinars on getting started. We also have a free 14-day trial on all of our accounts with no strings attached. So I'm going to touch on some ways like a system like Artwork Archive can help you with your mental offload. But just if you're joining us and you actually have no idea what Artwork Archive is, this is a good starting point. And then, in case you missed it in the beginning, this is a webinar focused on wellness for artists. So May is actually Mental Health Awareness Month. So we wanted to take a moment to talk specifically about artist mental and physical wellness. and give some practical tips, as well as provide just the space to be led through some breathing exercises, some physical movements at the end that Elysian will guide us through, like chair yoga, and how these things can be utilized, not just by anyone, but also by anyone. But really, our focus is on poses that may help artists who are doing repetitive movements in the studio. Not often are we thinking about how we're using our physical bodies or how we're showing up emotionally every day in our work. So this is just to bring focus to that area specifically for artists. And then before we proceed, I also want to clarify that we are not doctors or certified health professionals. So this information that we share is really based on personal knowledge and experiences, and it shouldn't be interpreted as actual medical advice. So if you have any specific health concerns or require professional medical guidance, we really strongly recommend that you consult a qualified healthcare professional. So I want to start the session out with a question to all of you out there. So I'd love to read your responses in the chat. What does the term wellness or well-being mean to you? So does anything come up in your mind specifically related to your art practice or being an artist? Do you have any definitions or experiences? Maybe it's a way of being, or is it a feeling, an idea? I just want to start understanding how everyone might be thinking of wellness, because it can be different for everyone. So type those in the chat if you have anything that comes up when you think of wellness or well-being. Not being tired all the time. That's a really good one. Physical and emotional balance related to making art. Balance, yeah. A feeling of peace that leaves space and energy to do what I love. I love that. Having the mental and physical capacity to engage in the work. Amen. Taking care of emotional, mental, and physical health. Holistic state of being. Wellness usually reminds me of pampering yourself, although I know it shouldn't be that. I think that's an aspect of it, though. Taking time to fill the well outside of our art practice. These are amazing. This is really great. Setting boundaries and prioritizing myself over others in work and personal. That can be really tough, but it's so important. Okay, amazing. Thanks for typing those in. So a lot of the time, what people think with artists, it's really funny. They think that it's, this perfect kind of experience all the time where we're just in bliss and that it's always life-giving, which it is, but also they think that we're always in the state of peace, a rejuvenating, soul-enriching practice every moment in the studio. And that's, true sometimes, but it's also just not the case all the time. So it also looks like this, which involves, the stress of the moments where we're sitting staring at our work for an hour, or we're crouched over, or, we're trying to stretch a canvas and we cut our finger, or we're frustrated by a broken piece, we can't get the sketch right, or we are staying up late navigating complicated shipping details. There are so many ways in which we're all trying to wear a bunch of hats and balance all the different roles we also play in our lives outside of just being an artist, which is, like a parent or partner, coworker, sibling, friend, etc. So I wanted to look at the Global Wellness Institute that defines wellness as the active pursuit of activities, choices, and lifestyles that lead to a state of holistic health. They list 6 categories that I thought would be really helpful to look at from the lens of a working artist. Here's what they are. So physical, which is nourishing a healthy body through exercise, nutrition, sleep, etc. Mental, so that can be engaging the world through learning, problem solving, creativity, etc. Emotional can be being aware of, accepting our feelings and understanding the feelings of others. Spiritual, searching for meaning and higher purpose in human existence. Social, connecting and engaging with others and our communities in really meaningful ways. And then environmental, so fostering positive interrelationships between planetary health, human actions, and well-being. I also like to think of these visually. I'm assuming most of us might be visual learners, but I like to think of these as buckets to be filled too. So some may be overflowing, some may be really dry. So when thinking about overall wellness, it's really important to know that there are multiple buckets to fill. And then I'm going to touch on each of these today as they relate to artists specifically. And I'm just going to base them off my own experience and also off of some of our team's experience and some great professionals that have given great advice for each of these buckets as well. So let's look at the mental. So this is engaging the world through learning, problem solving, creativity, and the ways in which artists can try to kind of fill this bucket are trying something new. So one of our teammates actually, what was really helpful is she talks about she works in different scales. So maybe it's working in a different material or working on a different scale or looking at your art and taking a different subject matter to really get this going in your brain. So you can also take a class or watch an online learning tutorial. There's so much out there on YouTube, on, different platforms, like even if it's a medium that you're not involved in. So I'm a painter, but I am so filled up when I take a ceramics course because it also helps me inform what I'm doing on the canvas as well. And then also what's great is starting with a warm-up piece or prompt when you walk into the studio. So this is really helpful if you're engaging your brain and your mental capacity for the studio by not allowing yourself to just jump on a piece immediately, but perhaps you're starting with a warm-up piece to get the juices flowing. And then also what's really great for problem solving and creativity is offloading any unnecessary mental stress by creating systems for yourself. So maybe this is a to-do list that you look at every single day to offload the mental load of remembering important details, remembering specific dates, remembering what pieces need to go to what exhibition. A lot of that can block our creativity and cause us to have tension and cause us to have, maybe this creative block where we're unable to kind of be present with our work because we're carrying a lot of weight. So I like to use Artwork Archive for a lot of that. We have a schedule feature that sends you an email every Monday with your upcoming to-dos. So that's helpful. You can also save all the dates for exhibition announcements. You can put all of the piece record or all of the information about a specific artwork into a piece record. You can also use different apps on your phone, like a timer as well, to help you focus on Pomodoro method, which is 30-minute stretches. So all of those are helpful tips. Do you have any on your own that you use that would be helpful to help you engage with learning or problem solving? I also want to point out that we have journal prompts, but I think we might wait until the end to do journal prompts. But a really great way to kind of access and think creatively is if you weren't an artist, what would you do and why? So this can sometimes pique interest into different areas that you want to learn about, or maybe it's something that you didn't realize you were interested in, you can take a class on. There's a lot that can go into this bucket, but these are just some helpful tips. Next up is spiritual. So according to the Global Wellness Institute, spiritual is searching for meaning and higher purpose in human existence. So this can look differently for everyone, but some really practical tips to connect with this bucket or this category and fill this bucket is connecting with a higher power as you come to know it, walking and connecting with nature. So a lot of people really love to take their shoes off and walk on the grounds and connect with nature that way, or walking up and touching a tree, something that connects you with the natural world. Listening to music that can help you get into a meditative state, or just music in general. Sometimes music has a transformative power. Meditation, prayer, reading books that can connect you and fill up this bucket for you on subjects that you're interested in that help you search for meaning or, think about higher purposes for humans in general. And then communing with others. So speaking about the things that you're learning, or maybe these moments that you're connecting with nature, or hiking with friends. It helps to speak about what you're experiencing as well. And that can be a really healing process. A journal prompt that's helpful to tap into this category is: what values, passions, or causes deeply resonate with you and have the potential to make a positive impact on the world? Have any of these resonated with any of you all yet? Or are there some things that you do that help you search for meaning or connect with a higher purpose? I would love to hear them. And it's really helpful too to share these so that we're all sharing these insights with each other too, because something that one person does might really be helpful for another. Meditate, yeah. Walking in nature. Yeah, Colorado is really handy. Gardening, yes. Connecting with nature and getting sunlight. Absolutely. I have a neighbor who every day goes and just pulls out a chair and sits in the sunlight. And she talks about how she's like a plant and just needs the sun. And I love it. Spotify shuffle and dance to whatever comes on. Absolutely. Journaling, yes. Morning ritual, coffee, reflect, and journal. Yoga and walking starts the day off just right. It really does. Hypnotherapy, positive affirmations, walking my dog, animals. Man, dogs are spiritual beings. Singing badly and sunning and praying. I love that. Loretta, that's amazing. Connecting with ancestors through remembrance and gratitude. Absolutely. Reading poetry. These are incredible. Thank you all for sharing these. I'm also going to share the chat file at the end as well, or with the follow-up email, so that we can go back through and read through these suggestions from everyone. Let's look at the next bucket. So, emotional. The definition for this is being aware of, accepting, and expressing our feelings and understanding the feelings of others. So this is really helpful to kind of understand how to connect more with our bodies and with our mind, especially too with others. So core emotions are angry, sad, pain, happy, joy, guilt, shame, fear, and love. And this is from a therapist. I'm sure that there are also plenty more, but these are kind of those core ones that she gave me to use as a reference. So what's helpful is checking in with yourself. One of my colleagues on the Artwork Archive team talks about how he loves to check in with himself throughout the day. And in the morning, he'll, kind of sit with himself, understand if he's feeling anything and where he might be feeling it. And then throughout the day, kind of check in as well, because it changes. And we also don't recognize how much emotion we're carrying in our bodies. So a really great way to understand, maybe there's some unnecessary tension is sitting with yourself, checking in if you're feeling anything, and then where that might be located in your body. So maybe there's, you're feeling sad, and if you sit with it, it might be somewhere in your body, and you might want to move that area or look up specific exercises or stretches for that part of your body. Also, sharing with others that you trust with your emotions and with your feelings, like a therapist, a friend, a partner. Being able to have a conversation with someone that you trust about what's going on is incredibly helpful and incredibly fulfilling. So it's not you don't need to share with everyone, because that also, you don't want to put yourself in a place where you don't feel safe, but that's also another way to fill that bucket. Yeah, emotions are really tied to art. Absolutely. I mean, I feel like some of the first pieces I made were directly tied to me trying to communicate emotions in a way that I wasn't able to verbally. And I think probably a lot of artists can relate to that. And then a really great memory or really great journal prompt for this is write a memory or brainstorm a piece that you could create for each emotion. So go through those core emotions and maybe brainstorm a memory tied to that. Or maybe you can think of an emotion and then create a piece related to that emotion. And you might be, surprised to see what comes out, because maybe, you're making a piece about happy joy and you thought it would look a certain way and it actually looks a very different way. Or you're making a figurative piece and you are surprised by what you relate to being happy and joyful. And I'd also love to hear any ways that you all accept or express your feelings or understand the feelings of others. Or if you is anyone creating art based on emotional expression as well? Yes. Yes, I am as of right now. My art is based on emotion. Poetry and theater. Yes. Gosh, speaking of poetry, that also has been an incredibly useful tool for me in the studio, where I have some of my favorite poets, and sometimes you just don't know what emotion you're feeling, and you read a poem and they articulate exactly how you're feeling, and you're able to tap into that and then make a piece based off of it. My first solo exhibition were portraits of my mother after she died. It helped me grieve, and I continue to use emotion in my art. Amazing, Loretta. Thank you for sharing that. Art has an incredible healing power. Wow. I work through emotions through the making process. Yeah, making art in and of itself is a physical movement sometimes. So it's an incredible way to move through our bodies and make something with what we're feeling. Okay, the next one is social. So connecting and engaging with others and our communities in meaningful ways. And this can be tough, especially for artists where we're alone in the studio a lot of the time. If you're working from home, or if you are, not in a shared studio space. Even if you are in a shared studio space like I am, half the time I show up to the studio and I, close my door and I'm just in the studio for hours and I never see another soul. But this bucket is so so incredibly important, and can be really easy to overlook. So some ways in which you can lean into the social category for holistic health is collaborating on art projects with other artists or communities. And there are tons of available options out there through your local community centers, or, museums, or also arts and cultural commissions. So if you look up online your local arts and cultural commission, sorry, my brain is kind of going away right now, but you can find a lot of opportunities wherever you are. And then taking a workshop or class virtually or in person, that comes up a lot. So taking a workshop in, your medium or a different medium, that's a really great way to meet other artists. And also virtually. So like Zoom, we have an incredible resource at our fingertips where we can join a class around the world and connect with other people in that way. And then one of my mentors actually gave me this piece of advice when I was just starting out: to attend as many art exhibitions and events with other artists as possible. So in a small town, especially, I'm from Nashville originally, and in a small town, I would go to a lot of art events and start seeing the same people. And it was this community that I felt a part of. Practice art therapy and volunteer to engage with communities. So also volunteering is really great to nourish that social aspect of ourselves. So a lot of the time we don't think we have, a lot to give, or maybe we're like, well, I don't know how to teach a specific skill. You don't have to, you can volunteer in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different places. What I like to do is think about ways I like to spend my time. And then if there are any local companies or nonprofits that are offering volunteer opportunities for me to participate. So I had a car and I didn't really know anyone when I first started living in Los Angeles, but I saw a random opportunity to help pick up prescription medicine for an older person who wasn't able to get around town. And that was really helpful and also helped me just start connecting with people that were around me. And it was one way I could use the tool, which a car, and it didn't really relate to my art practice, but it did because I was able to engage with other people and then go into the studio more fulfilled. Kristen, I have working artists and creative volunteers working with our cancer patients while they're having chemo treatments. That's amazing. That's an incredible way to volunteer as artists as well. I help establish a local cooperative art gallery to provide in-person support, mentoring for regional artists. Amazing. See, there are so many opportunities out there. And a lot of the time it just takes, taking a moment to kind of do a search and connect. Also, join a social media group, which can be hit or miss sometimes. So be careful with that because sometimes people present themselves differently online when you're not able to see them like a video. Also, online communities are really great if you're great online. Oh yeah, Elysian, thank you. Yeah, so Elysian's on the board. If you want to speak to that real fast, that would be really great.
Sure thing. I will include a link, but I've been a member ever since I started Artwork Archive of the National Organization of Arts and Health. And you don't have to be an art therapist. There's actually like a different association for that. But it's all about arts and health, whether it be in a hospital or healthcare setting. And we have a lot of individual artists who are interested in getting involved in the work, whether it be connecting with your local healthcare institution and how to do that, or just tapping into a national network. So I'll link to that as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that.
And Chris is a member. So as an artist, as a teacher, she's so if anyone has any questions, she's in the chat as well.
Incredible. We're so lucky to have you both here. Amazing. And lastly, on the social, a really great journal prompt to kind of get going in this category is reflecting on the ways in which your artistic practice can bridge connections and engage with others in your community. And then we have two more left. So environmental. So this is fostering positive interrelationships between planetary health and human actions, choices, and well-being. So ways that you can fill this bucket or really nourish this category for holistic health include engaging in more sustainable art practices. So maybe that even just means looking at the materials you are using and really understanding what they are. I started using more natural earth pigments, which was really great to kind of understand making my own paints in that way. But I also am still using my acrylic and oil. It was just an added way for me to understand and break down my own artistic practice. And then also helping create less waste. So what ways in which can you create less waste in your studio? Maybe that's reusing a rag instead of paper towels, or maybe that's making sure to clean your brushes extra well, because we tend to go through brushes often and it can be a problem when a lot of those brushes have hazardous materials continuously going into landfills, or there's a lot. Just even being familiar or being aware of these certain practices is helpful for artists, because we are engaging so much with the world and with materials that as a part of our holistic health, it's really important that we understand what it is that we're using and how we're interacting with it, how it's affecting us, and how we're affecting others. So I thought these were some also really fun ways to lean into this as well. We're collaborating with scientists, local parks, or community groups to help better understand ecological impact and planetary health. Reflecting on nature's beauty, or reflecting nature's beauty in your art. So Maybe it's thinking like Georgia O'Keeffe and focusing specifically on the interior of a flower. Or maybe it's something that you are struck by in nature that you want to just zoom in and really understand it or really just connect with it. Also attending educational workshops or classes. So I just think we can do that for everyone, I guess. There's an educational workshop or class probably for all of these sections. Oh, I'm seeing. Oh, I have environmental health training and I'm allergic to a lot. So I deep dive on the safety of my paints and supplies. That's amazing. There are many alternative pigments now that allow artists to not use toxic pigments, cadmium or cobalt. Incredible. Yeah, there's a lot of resources out there. And for a long time, I didn't think about it. And so it's just great to be aware. And then a journal prompt that helps with nourishing this category is, what are the ways in which your artistic practice intersects with the health of the planet and human well-being? And then lastly, physical, and then I'll let Elysian take over with our incredible practice of breath and yoga. So nourishing a healthy body through exercise, nutrition, and sleep. So I know you probably hear this a lot, but get enough sleep and enough water. And it's so hard. But there are so many studies that just prove sleep helps. And I know sometimes inspiration strikes in the middle of the night and you want to stay up and keep working. So if that's the case, just make sure that you are able to catch up sometime throughout the day or take naps. Also having healthy snacks on hand in the studio, just preventing yourself from going for a long time. One of my best friends, he's an artist and he, sometimes forgets to eat when he's in the studio for a long time. And while that's funny, it's also just not great on your body. You need fuel. You need to be able to create your work, because if you're not able to create your work, the work doesn't get made. And also that's the whole point, nothing else really works well if you're not able to work well. So set a reminder to take walks or move your body frequently. If you drink enough water, that can sometimes be a natural reminder because you have to use the restroom, which is really great to get up, shake off everything off. Schedule your exercises ahead of time. So, it's recommended that you get 30 minutes a day at least of exercise. And if you can't do that all at once, take 5-minute breaks, go on a walk, stand up, make sure that you're moving your body so that you're not, sometimes when we're making art, people think that it looks like we're just having this perfect posture and but most of the time we're hunched over, we're, carrying heavy loads, we're staying in one position the whole time. And just to be aware of that and moving your body and being aware of the necessity of not sitting in place for a long time, but getting up, walking, find an activity that you love, dancing, turn on a song, put it in your playlist every couple songs. So when it comes on, you get up and dance. A way to tap into this is reflect on your current self-care routines and habits. So how are these practices supporting or hindering your creative process? What adjustments or improvements can you make to prioritize your physical health and enhance your artistic journey? So overall, what we want is artists, we want you to be healthy. We want you to be able to do what you do so well, really well. And with that, with physical movement, let's move to Elysian. I'm gonna mute.
Awesome. Thank you, Cassidy. I'm sitting in a chair. I will move my body so that you can all see. But before I get into, I'm going to be doing some chair yoga after we move our body, get some jelly beans out. Then we'll go into some breath work and a short little mindfulness exercise. But before Cassidy and I jumped onto this webinar, I found my 4.5-year-old's recent drawing. It's torn. I mean, look at these scribbles. And I was just thinking, like, how fitting to see this before thinking about mindfulness, taking care of ourselves. Like, do we all feel like this sometimes, all the time? I know that as a caregiver, taking care of myself and taking deep breaths and taking care of my physical being and body has been really important. So I'm happy to share this all with you. So with that, As Cassidy mentioned in the physical slides, art making does take a toll on our bodies. We're hunched over potter's wheels and tables. We're standing for hours with tense shoulders and clenched jaws in front of our easel. And every day, these repetitive movements cause neck, shoulder, and back strain. Yoga for centuries has provided physical benefits to our hard-worked bodies. And we as artists can benefit from the healing practice. These poses will better our posture, strengthen muscles, release tension, increase blood flow and energy, and promote focus. So again, today we'll focus on chair yoga, since you're almost likely seated for this webinar. So do me a favor and move to the front of your seat. Plant your feet on the ground. Feel the earth beneath your toes, your heels. Sit tall. And take 5 deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Imagine a string at the top of your head, drawing your spine long, top of the head towards the ceiling or sky if you're outside. Draw your shoulders up to your ears, then melt them down away from your ears. 2 more times with your breath. Shoulders up, inhale, exhale, back down. 1 more time, draw your shoulders up towards your ears, roll them back and down. Now drop your chin to your chest and roll your head over to your right side. Extend your left hand out away from your body. I'm mirroring you, so hopefully this should be reflecting what is in your body. So head to the right, extend your left hand out away from your body, create 1 long line. Take a deep breath and drop your ear closer to your shoulder. And drop your shoulder. Like your shoulder and ear are playing a game of tag. And your shoulder is running away, and your ear is chasing it, creating a nice deep stretch in the left side of your shoulder and neck. And if you want to intensify the stretch, push your chin away from your chest, or place your right hand on your shoulder. And take 2 more deep breaths with me. Then release that extended arm. Gently push your head up with your hand. Drop your chin to your chest. And we're going to roll over to the other side. And we're going to make this symmetrical. So drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Extend your right arm. And again, that same play of dropping your ear closer to your shoulder as your shoulders melt down. Elongate your breath. And the benefits of this pose is you're releasing tension in your neck, promoting mobility, range of movement that you otherwise might not take if you're staring ahead at your canvas. Great job. Release that arm, drop your chin down, and lift your head back towards the computer and my voice. We're going to take a seated cat-cow next, which will stretch the neck, chest, shoulders, spinal column, and lower back, which gets so tight. So draw your shoulders back, lift your chest up and forward. For a seated cow, I'll go to the side so you guys can see this. And then exhale, curl forward, tuck your chin into your chest, hands on knees, arch that back, lift that upper back up like an angry cat. You can even hiss. And then inhale, seated cow. Draw the chest forward, shoulders back, deep breath in, lift your gaze. Exhale, cat round, and push your spine back towards the back of the chair. Repeat that 3 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And if you want to stay somewhere and move around some crunchy bits, you can. I can't see you. I don't know what you're doing. You can do whatever feels good in your body. 1 more inhale. And exhale. Nice. We're going to come back to that seated position towards the front of the chair. Feet on the ground. You can't see my feet, but right now I'm putting my right foot slightly forward. So my right foot is farther ahead of my left. I'm going to sit tall, and I am going to twist over to the right side. My hands can be on the chair, on my leg. We're going to pretend like our spine is a towel, and we're going to wring it out. So lift the chest, breathe in. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Breathe in. Gaze towards your back shoulder. Melt that shoulder away. Breathe in. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. And then return to the center. We're going to take it to the other side. So extend that left foot. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, twist. And twists are really beneficial. It lengthens and encourages mobility along your spine. It relieves stress and anxiety. It relieves back pain by keeping your discs and joints happy and healthy. Keep that twist. And twist detoxify and aid in digestion by massaging our organs. So maybe after a couple of glasses of wine or a rich meal, if your tummy's a little unsettled, twists help with that. Okay, great. Return to the center. We're going to take a side stretch. So again, root the feet, right foot again, slightly forward. Reach your right arm up and lean over to your left. Lengthen your side body. Breathe in. Exhale, deepen. And I think I'm in the view. Breathe in. Exhale, deepen. 1 more. And then come back up through center. Drop that right hand. Extend the left foot. Left arm lifts and raises. And then exhale, hinge over like you're a willow tree just bending over in the wind. Like gravity, drape your body to the side, creating nice length along your side body. And then with an inhale, rise up through the center. Now we're going to just do something simple, something that we can just do at all times in front of our easel. Shake our hands. Our hands, our wrists, whether it be typing, paperwork, whatever it may be, or manipulating our media. We're going to shake out our wrists, and we're going to do a simple hand stretch. So pretend like you're giving me a high five, put whatever hand out you wish, and then palm faces away from you. You're going to grab your fingers, and you're just going to pull them back. Feel a nice stretch in your hand and your wrists. Shake it out. Switch sides. Release, shake them out. Now this one's kind of silly because I'm on a video. I'm not very, it'll be hard to see, but we're going to take for the last pose, a forward fold. We're going to breathe in. And on the exhale, I'm going to disappear because I'm just going to drape my chest on my thighs. I can even widen my legs and let my head fall between my knees. And you're going to take a nice seated forward fold. Let your head hang. Your fingertips can drape across the ground. And forward folds, whether it's seated in a chair or if you're standing, are so great for releasing your lower back. And so if you're standing, I encourage you to bend your knees, drape your chest on your thighs. As you're seated, that same feeling of just release. And when you're ready, you can slowly come up, let the blood flow, circulate. You might get a little bit of a head rush. And in this moment, we're going to move to our breath work now that we've moved our body. And so for this section, just want to say quickly that, art can be making art can be therapeutic, but for us professional artists, the acts of making can be filled with stress and tension, working against deadlines, our own expectations, like Cassidy said. Some of us may struggle with letting go in the creative process or getting out of our own mind. So mindfulness, breath work, meditation, movements within yoga can help us relax and welcome some ease back into our lives. So breathing, we all do it, but oftentimes we forget to take deep breaths. Even at our maximum exercise capacity, we only use 70% of our lungs. So we'll take some deep breaths together. And since you're all muted, no one can hear how loud you exhale, so feel free to do it with gusto. So join me for this breathing exercise, which you can replicate in your studio. You're going to let out an audible sigh. In yoga, we call it lion's breath. Empty out. Now breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath for 2 seconds. 1, 2. Now slowly and gently release the breath through the mouth or the nose for 6 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stay on empty for 2 seconds. 2. Now repeat. Breathe in for 4. Fill your belly, lungs, throat, and mouth. Hold for 2 at the top. Now exhale for 6 counts. Release it like a balloon releases air. You open that little bottom. Hold for 2. And repeat 2 more times on your own. And place your hand on your belly to ensure you're filling your abdomen. Feel the rise of your stomach. And we exhale for longer because typically with mindfulness, we'll take a deep inhale, but we rarely breathe out fully. So give it a try. You'll release carbon monoxide. Relax. At the end of your breath, you can close your eyes if they otherwise weren't, or let your gaze softly fall somewhere in front of you. Return to their normal breath, something at ease, something you don't have to put your mind on. We're going to start an exercise for letting go, a part of our creative process that we often need to tap into. So take a moment to bring awareness to any sounds you notice in the room, or outside if you're by a window, or if you are outside. Acknowledge the sounds and let your mind move past them. Don't judge your mind for wandering. It's our brain's job to think. So to help corral your mind, return to your breaths. You can count them. Maybe 4 counts, 5 counts in, 5 counts, 6 counts out. Take a deep breath in and out. Another breath in release. Now imagine, as you breathe behind closed eyes, you're in the sky, floating. You're amongst the clouds. Breathe in, you float up higher. And as you exhale, your breath nudges the cloud, pushing it through space with your breath. It floats away. Take another deep breath. And then allow your breath to fall into your comfortable, typical pattern. You don't need to force it. Imagine now you are sinking down to the ground and you are seated in the grass. It's a bluebird day. The clouds are gone, not a cloud in the sky. Feel the grass beneath you, or maybe you're on a soft blanket. Take a few deep breaths. Now listen. In the distance, a train whistle. Your body is still, but you feel the ground slightly vibrate. The train traveling over the tracks grows louder. And now the train enters your view. You see the cars moving quickly past, but you don't focus on the individual cars. Instead, you let them travel past you. They blur together. Colors stream together. It all moves. You can see and feel the continuous movement of energy, and you witness it moving through space. And then before you know it, the caboose passes by and the train is in the distance. You're left with the horizon line, that blue sky above, the grass below. Take a deep breath in and let go with a deep exhale. Gradually start to bring your awareness back to reality, where you are, your studio, your office, your breathing. Feel the chest and belly rise and fall with each breath. And perhaps you've let go a bit. So you can do these breathing exercises, these movements. You can listen to a guided meditation from anywhere. There's a lot of apps on the phone. You can find a quiet space and sit, or even stand at your easel. You can practice these deep breaths while you're brewing coffee, making tea, or before entering your studio. And so deep breathing is one of the easiest and natural tools to combat stress, anxiety, and can even reduce your pain and high blood pressure. And we have an article which I will share that outlines, if you're interested, all of the benefits of deep breathing. I know I have to remind myself to do it often. Again, I'm the mother of a 4.5-year-old. And Cassidy, that ends the deep breath, chair yoga, mindfulness moment.
Wow. I feel like a new person. That was amazing. Thank you so much. I also just wanted to ask everyone how that was for you. If you had done any of those poses before, or if you do breathing exercises as well. Lovely. Very nice. Thank you. Amazing. Awesome. Yeah. I found myself holding tension in my shoulders and noticed while I was breathing that I was doing that. So it was so great to kind of bring awareness to that part of my body and release my shoulders.
I definitely didn't say to dropping your jaw. So I clench, especially my dentist said during COVID, a lot of us would grind our teeth in the night, but I clenched my jaw a lot when I'm stressed. And so just letting it hinge, opening and closing your jaw a few times, becoming aware of that.
Yeah. I wish I could have seen everyone do it too, because I was just leaning over. These chair yoga poses are amazing. I'm sitting in a chair a lot when I'm working on my work. So to be able to just move right and left, and also the twist.
Yeah. Even just moving your neck back and forth. I was just in an arts and health session at the Alliance of American Museums. And they said that people just, turning your chin, looking over your right shoulder and your left shoulder, and releasing tension.
Wow. What an amazing way to end a webinar on wellness. I'm going to share my screen one more time just to bring us back. So I'm going to send this in the follow-up email. I'll send the recording as well as these journal prompts, and we'll include articles that we have on our blog as well. Let me go to, here's where you can sign up for our newsletter or go to our blog at artworkarchive.com/blog to read some of those articles. And also, if you want to watch past webinars or you want to rewatch this one, it will be on our webinars page on our website as well. And of course, if you have any questions or you want to reach out to us at any time, you can do that at team@artworkarchive.com. And thank you so much, everyone, for showing up on this Tuesday afternoon, morning, whatever time it is for you, wherever you're signing in from. Hopefully this gives you a moment to fill a bucket for yourself, and also gets your brain thinking on how to approach your health in a more holistic way. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. And also thank you for being so participatory in the chat. It really helps for us to be able to connect with people. And sometimes on these webinars, we don't get to see you, but to be able to read your incredible tips and also the ways in which you're engaging and filling up for categories for yourself is always great to hear. So thank you. Be well. Please go about your day noticing things that inspire you, and hopefully we'll see you at a webinar in the future. Bye, everyone.
Hey, everyone.